Right, I have to start again. I was filming that. I was hoping that the call would come through and I could continue filming because then I could look like I was really popular. Um, but let's not fucking fool anyone, Mikey. I'm well known. I'm not popular. That's just my truth, man. But where am I? Where am I? Well, I'm where I always am, in Studio One, filming. Look at how law-abiding I've been. This is amazing. Look how cool this looks. It almost looks like a face, doesn't it? Hang on. That looks fucking cool. And I can actually see through that. I can see through it. Oh wow, I can film it like this. I can totally see. Love it. But yeah, I just went up the shop like this and I encountered my first human. I told him he's my first human. Because he was like, he's a mate of mine, just someone I know, sort of half know to say hello to and stop and chat and say, how you doing? That enough, no. And we chatted for about a minute. But what else went on? I sorted my meds out. I spoke to my key worker about it. We chatted about a load of stuff. And I spoke about my meds and how it was getting a bit complicated because of all the crap with the... Well, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but it's one of those things that could flare up in my face. So for once, I was actually doing it 8 days early. I had a whole week. It's like sometimes I've done it 4 days early, but it's been like, you know, on a Thursday and I need it Monday morning and it's actually just, there's only Friday left, that sort of thing. And so I couldn't ring my GP to check if the repeat had been put on and rah. And then my key worker said ring the pharmacy because they're all open. And I rang the pharmacy, they just weren't answering their phone. Tried loads, and I looked on Google, they were closing at 12 and it was like 11:44. So I thought, they're not going to answer the phone. And I tried. So I went through to the hospital where the Blutmeister works. And I explained the situation to them. And it was one of those that could have got me really sort of uppity as well, because she kept saying, can't you do this and can't you order it? I said, no, like I said, if you order it online, because she was probably reading off a screen. I think she was going through a bullet pointed list of things is what she was possibly doing. So even though she was listening to me, she was actually scrolling through a screen, so she wasn't fully listening. So she kept asking things I'd already told her. And I didn't even get snappy with her. I did not even get snappy. I did say that, because I did say, I had literally said it about 37 or 6 seconds earlier. But I didn't get shitty, and they rung back like an hour or two later or something and said they'd spoken to Bloopity, and I knew he would be. He's been like that before. He said, if you ever get any problems with your GP, if your GP refuses and says for whatever reason, then come and talk to me and I'll just write you a prescription there and then. I've got a pad, I'll just write you one. I'm always here in between patients. They can always give me a quick call and say, this cunt's here. He needs a ticket. But he wrote me one out and it's in reception. And she was like, well, could you come now? It's the staff at reception are aware you're coming. And I was like, well, this is how law-abiding I'm being. I said, well, the thing is, I was going to just come Monday morning because I can't get it. They shouldn't dispense it. So if I can't go and get them. It's weird. They'll trust you with a bottle of 30, but they won't trust you with a bottle of 9 and another bottle of 30 or whatever it is. Well, to be honest, if you wanted to abuse the bottle of 30, you could have already done so. But anyway, but fair enough. They won't dispense, because I know on the tickets before it always said do not dispense before. This medicine was last issued on, and it says the last time that I actually exchanged my script for the meds, and that date is recorded and printed on my next repeat. So it not only says the last date, it says do not dispense before, but there's obviously a little bit of leeway in that because the computer just does it. And sometimes you might have bank holidays, and sometimes you might have gone in, I've gone in before and said, look, I'm going on holiday. A couple of times I've been going on holiday, and so they've let me have it early because you go in a week or two earlier and say. And what was it I did? with one of them, I can't quite remember. I think I just took what I had on holiday with me, but then there was a script waiting with it, which was early, but that was waiting for me when I got back. So I got them the day I got back. I can't quite remember how I did it, but so I sorted that out successfully, and it's like that day, something that's like normally got the potential for me to go on and on and on, with me putting it off a lot of the time, me thinking, look, just do it. And I go, yeah, all right. And then I think, oh, I need a piss. And I go and have a piss. And then I go and do something else. And I think, you need to do that. And then, right, actually, I'm doing this now. And it can just get like that. And I know sometimes I'm avoiding. And there's certain things I just avoid. And I really don't know why. And I know it's something to do with what's wrong with me. It's to do with why I'm unwell. And a lot of it is interacting with my ADHD. And da-di-da-di-da. All that sort of shit's going on. So that is my main thing about the meds, is they're a little bit, look, big change, 555. Is they're just a little bit infuriating that they do quite a lot of the job, but not quite all of it. But, you know, it's like, well, actually, do they though? Because in the last, 12 days, there has been such a flatness to it. There's been a much more of a what's the pointicalness. And there has been times when I've thought, you know what, just do some study. There was one day I did a fair bit of study, and I planned to do some the next day. I've not done it since. Just haven't. I think I've mentioned that in one of my videos, actually, that I read somewhere that if you talk about your goals too much, you're much less likely to achieve them, because you kind of put a pressure on yourself and you're doing it to prove it to others. In a sense, part of your brain suddenly starts to, that's how your subconscious works. These are the paradigms that I've been referring to, that you don't know are happening. But your subconscious goes, oh, actually, right, they're involved, so then that's part of my motivation. And then it's that, you know, I've read that somewhere, but then I also read somewhere that you should state loudly your goals. And when I did a goal setting course, so all of us only learn what we've been taught and where we source that information from, whatever website it was, or whether we were taught it by a professor or a college lecturer, a school teacher, a fucking fireman, a fucking waitress, anybody. We learn things as we learn them and experience them as we experience them, don't we? So what was it? I did then get a text, actually, later on in the day from my key worker again, just with a load of numbers. And I think it's sort of arse covering. They gave me some advice leaflets on how to stay safe from coronavirus, and it was like correct hand rubbing technique when using gel. And I was like, chance to be a fucking fine thing. Still can't fucking buy any. I'm just hand washing. But you know, that sort of box ticking. But then what was interesting? I almost don't want to say this, but it's true. But so she sent me this thing, and it was for specific. There was one of them. There was 2 or 3 numbers on there, and a website address, I think, and then a place you could go. Something like that. She was just basically saying about all of the support. Then there's a 24/7 one, and there was one that you accessed, and it was, you know, Bournemouth. It was, you know, obviously, like, ultimately it's the council, isn't it? So it's a council website. So it's Bournemouth or Gov or whatever. I think it's Bournemouth Gov. Yeah. But it was / vulnerable. What was it? Extra support for the vulnerable adults. I was like, I'm a vulnerable adult. There's a couple of times she said that. And the thing is, that is like another one of those points where a lot of people would laugh out loud, pronounce me pathetic, pronounce me this, that, or the fucking other. I'm like, well, I'm not pronouncing me a vulnerable adult. I can see what she fucking means, though. I can see what she fucking means. So it's again, it's one of those things where I'm just going, right, well, that's the situation. But then if I say that to virtually anyone, they come straight back at me going, don't focus on the negatives. Like, please, could we not be so cut and dried about everything? This means that, this means that, this means that, this means that. It's like, yeah, it's not that simple. If it was, I'd be better, because I could do it. I'm great at positive thought. That's another one, actually, that I want to non-angrily say. But rest assured that anyone in a similar position to me knows all too well the power of positive thought. They know all too well about negative affirmations. They have had this shit said. It is very widespread. I was going to go on with the poem then. You can tell me till I'm dead. No, I'm out. Apart from Right Said Fred or something like that. I'm not a very good poet. And I do know it. But, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, people are aware of that sort of stuff. So very often when people come straight at them with, come on, don't think negatively. I'm not thinking negatively. It's very often there has been a sentence which sounds like it and the other person declares it thinking negatively. The proceeding argument is then over the fact that they were thinking negatively. That is then held as a truth and is argued over. And the poor person like me is going, I wasn't even, but you're not getting it. And it's frustrating, but then I look as if I am being impatient with you. But then I am, but anyone would be impatient when they were met with that, when they were dealing with something that they could see and feel and know, and people were saying ridiculous things to them. They would start getting like, And it's like, I know people mean well, but like, can you just mean well in the right way? That's all. Can you just mean well properly? And just accept that although you meant well, it's still like unhelpful things are just unhelpful things. And when things are just, when you come up against the same stuff, it gets really infuriating. It gets really fucking infuriating. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of the bits I want to change. Is just that automatic brainwashy kind of fucking answer that you get so many times from people who think they know you inside out because you've said something in a certain way, or you've declared that you have an illness. You've just said that you have a fucking illness. You know, again with, I won't use diabetes. If you got a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, I'm rhyming again. People wouldn't say, don't think negatively about it. Well, they would, and that is my always point. That I'm saying, I am thinking positively. I do understand positive thinking. I'm thinking positively, notwithstanding, in spite of what's wrong with me. But I need to fucking recognise that the things that are wrong with me are things that I find very difficult to control, and they can slip and run away from me, and I have to just go, that's my illness. I'm not saying it's not my fault you have to run rings. I have to go, that's my illness. I need to deal with it. I need to do something differently with it. I'm not just going, this is my illness, all fucking dance around me, because that's the impression that I seem to think that you think from what I hear people saying, the generalistic view of people who have got only a personality disorder. If you've only got a personality disorder, you're basically as well as everyone else. Might as well just shut up because we're all dealing with it actually. There's so much of that about. And like, we're actually, people with personality disorders are way closer to being very mentally unwell. At times, like all illnesses go up and down. You know, I might have a period of a month or two late summer where I'm really flying. I really hope so. I deserve it. I so deserve it. But I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's nice to know there's help and support out there, because it is getting quite difficult to stay positive. It is getting quite difficult. I'm getting really self-conscious again of everything. Everything I post on Facebook, I'm starting to dick myself off for it and think you're a twat. No one wants to hear it anyway. No one cares. Shut up. You're annoying everyone. And I'm battling that all the time. And so I'm going to keep battling it. And so I made another video and think, well, I do care if it's shit. This is what I care about so much. And with the people that have fed back to me about how much it helps them, and I just look at the percentage of that compared to my followers, and I just think, that's why I want more followers. That's why I want more followers. Because I've had real feedback from real people with real struggles that I'm having too. And it's helping them. So that's why I get passionate. That's why I get passionate. That's why I get despondent when I put videos up and they're not really sort of... I get the occasional like. I get one little like from people. Now and then I'll get a comment. But I don't know. I think I've probably posted too much. I think people are probably sick of me. Maybe. I don't know. I just have to do what I can do. It's my little window. It's my rectangle. It's all I've got. I'm going to go for a 1444. Because the 3 4s mean that there are angels all around you, and may there always be.